The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh. Got my hustle on, no imitation of bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throb in my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Earnestly podcast. All right, we are joined here now by Chris Lacy and Matthew Allen, both music and culture journalists. Multiple times on the podcast now, guys. What's up? And hey, Chris, finally on camera this time now.
Yeah. I know. There was kind of like a little bit of suspect of like, yo, how come your camera ain't working, man? Like, what's going on? But no, I'm here.
I felt we were doing a podcast and talking to your avatar.
Yeah. But no, good to put names with faces and and all the things.
Exactly.
Man.
Matt, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. Great to be here, Chris. It's great to be on this with you. You and I have been corresponding for a long time. So
long time.
I'm ready, man. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Be a lot of fun. So we're gonna do a 10-round draft, and we're gonna pick 1980s albums. Doesn't matter any genre. Doesn't matter. We planned this about a month ago. Us three, I'm sure we all did our own draft boards on what direction to go in. We don't know the order yet. We're gonna find the order right now in real time. I'm gonna bring up the screen now, the randomizer with all our names on it. So that way it's fair. I want to think I'm cheating and all like that. So we'll do the randomizer right there. Hold on 1 second, and you guys can see that. And has all names right there. You see it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to find the order right now. And the third pick of the 1980s album draft is going to be...
No whammies. Big bucks.
Me. Wow.
I got the third pick, which means I'm screwed. I guarantee my number one pick is gone. I guarantee it. I can almost guarantee that the third pick is going to be your first, Chris, I think. I don't know. We'll see. There you go. The second pick in the 1980s album draft is going to go to Chris.
That's fair.
Which means Matt will get the first pick in the Earnestly Speaking podcast 1980 album draft.
All right.
So with that being said, let me just fix my screen here. We're all good. No snake draft. We'll go 1, 2, 3. We're gonna go 10 rounds. Again, any genre, doesn't matter. And anything else we want to before we get started? Any other
Yeah, as far as like when we pick an album, like you want us to explain why we picked it. All right,
of course, yes.
Cool.
That's the best part of this now.
I was about to say, like, there's a few of these on here, like I gotta wax poetically when I get to it,
Oh yeah.
So go ahead and take my first pick, damn it. Wait, Matt, you're first. You might grab it too. Also,
you might
grab it too. We'll see.
Okay.
Go ahead, Matt. First pick.
Okay, this might be a little on the nose. I actually tussled between this one artist between two albums, but I'm not going to take a chance. I'm going to be picking Michael Jackson's Thriller from 1982.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. It was between this and another one from him. But I don't want to take any chances. I mean, Thriller is basically a perfect record. 7 singles, 7 top 10 hits, 2 number ones. Correct. I always love to see these Twitter fights, like who's got the best 3-song run on an album, and you see all these hip hop records, and I'm like, nope. And I always put Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature. And
Thank you.
You got it.
That's it.
You got it.
Because everybody says Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean. It's like, no, Human Nature is better than Thriller. Sorry.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
and then the 2 non-singles, Baby Be Mine, Lady in My Life, which could be the best song on anybody else's album.
Let's go.
Come on, man. It's great. And I've heard a lot of rhetoric about Off the Wall being obviously the better choice than Thriller in Michael's catalog. I was like, no, there's not a million, but there's plenty of reasons why both of those albums are equal of value to each other. But I won't get into it. But yes, Thriller is my number one pick.
So you actually rank Thriller Off the Wall? You really would?
No, I didn't say that. I think that Thriller and Off the Wall are equal.
Oh, equal.
I think.
Okay.
Yes, I think that Off the Wall is more musically satisfying and Thriller is more thematically satisfying.
Ooh,
but there's at least 14, 15 reasons why, like similarities between those two records that people don't even realize.
All right, Christopher, go ahead.
Oh man, this hurts my heart right now because I'm torn between these. I got to go with my heart on this one. I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson's Bad.
Damn it!
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna pick Bad first. Because that would be my first.
I was gonna take Bad. I was gonna pick Bad, but I was like, no, let me just pick Thriller, just because. Yeah. Bad is my personal favorite, but
yes,
in terms of this draft, I just thought Thriller is more.
Real quick, now that MJ's exhausted for the rest of the show, pretty much as a solo artist, because there's only 2 albums he released in that decade. I don't know, man. I'm heartbroken right now. I was hoping to God, man. Oh God.
Trust me, I was torn on the other one, another album that came out in '87, and I think it's the one that you're gonna pick next. But yeah, my reason for picking Bad, you
think I'm picking that album next?
I think
I might as well. Yeah,
you might as well. I honestly thought Matthew was gonna pick it. I was be real with you.
Yeah,
but let's see what it's going to be. Let's see.
Silence. I'm gonna go ahead and just take it. Silent Times of Prince.
All right,
is that what it was? Is that what it?
Yeah. That's what I predicted that you were going to pick. But my reason for picking Bad, apart from it being my favorite album, I think it is what I call a musical Halloween. Like every song gets to wear a costume when Michael performs
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? And when you go and look at the short films, it makes perfect sense. Like that's who he was, a showman at heart. He was a throwback to the Fred Astaire's, the Sammy Davis Jr.'s. Like he was an updated version of that, and he was the biggest and best thing that we had seen. And as far as 3-song runs, like I'll give it to Beat It, Billie Jean, and Human Nature, but I gotta say what's up there is Dirty Diana, Smooth Criminal, Leave Me Alone. That is a tough 3-song run right there. That's tough.
I like that.
That's I can attest to that. Those are the 3 most listened to songs that on that album for me, just because that run is so strong. Leave Me Alone, and I think Leave Me Alone and Liberian Girl are my 2 favorites, but I listen to that run of songs all the way through, no matter
for
what.
years I've said that Off the Wall is my favorite album of all time, period, of any artist. But I have to be honest. I think Bad is probably 1B with that. I think honestly, I listen to Bad more than Off the Wall. And not only that,
me too.
Bad is an unskippable record. Every single song is amazing. Every single one. My favorite song on the album is even a single. It's Speed Demon.
Oh wow! Okay, I didn't realize that was your favorite. Yeah,
it's my favorite song on the album. It's a top 10 MJ song for me all time. Also, so
love the outro on it.
Me too. I love the fade out. It goes to Librarian Girl. It's amazing. All 11 songs are amazing. And by the way, Leave Me Alone was actually on the original album. It's on the
CD.
Right. It was on the CD.
I had the vinyl when it first came out in '87. My mom was a hardcore fan too. So we had to buy the CD also as well on top of the vinyl. So.
And I'd be remiss not to mention my favorite song on the record. Another Part of Me is a banger. That's my jam. That's my cut. So,
as for me, Prince Silent Time is mine. As obviously I had that in my top 3 best albums of the decade. It's probably his best record, honestly. I argue
it's hard to beat.
Yeah,
I am favorable to Around the World, the one before that. So I don't know, but definitely is probably his most. Would you say this is probably his commercially best album? Commercially?
No, commercially best album. Purple Rain.
That's number 2 then. So that's number 2 then, I guess then.
No, I would say Batman. Batman sold more.
Yeah.
Wait, but you know what?
More.
True, but you know why? That's almost like
more.
cheating though, because it's a soundtrack at the same time though. But
still, I mean, you said commercially
songs.
Successful, so I mean,
yeah, it's true.
Purple Rain clears everything. Then Batman's right there at the number 2 spot.
So
and then 1999 after that, yeah.
Yeah, and then 1999.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but Silent number.
But as far as like the best all around record, most cats would say Sign of the Times. Like, and that's the trump card on everything. Like, it's like you put Sign of the Times out there, it's like that's it. It wraps it up.
Yeah, and what's amazing is that year at the Grammys, album of the year, you had heavyweights there. You had was it Whitney Houston's was on that one?
Yeah, Whitney's second album.
Yep, her second album. Michael,
Sign of the Times.
Yep,
and then U2 won.
Yeah, Joshua Tree. And,
which in hindsight, that's how I became a fan of U2 was through that Grammys.
Gotcha.
How the hell is this band being Michael Jackson, Brad? And I listened to that. I was like, oh, I get it.
It is a great record, but Prince's quote is timeless, man. He's like, yeah, I can do whatever they're doing, but they can't do Housequake. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like I dig that quote. Like Prince was so petty.
And plus these Grammy voters like to be smart in the whole room. Say whatever feels fresh and new. That was fresh and new at the time, really, at that point. You know, U2
I mean, they had a momentum leading up to that because it was just like their fourth record.
Right.
It's personally not my favorite. I prefer Octane Baby, which is the album after.
Yeah, it came out in 91, right?
That's tough.
But I have to admit that Joshua Tree, I understand its place in history, but it's super top heavy. Like the 3 big singles are the first 3 songs.
Right.
It's like the Forever My Lady of rock and roll.
Ooh, that's a good analogy. That's a dope analogy. I like that.
I like that. All right. Round number 2, Matt. What are you doing? Second pick.
Okay. My second pick is another big favorite of mine, and that would be 1988's Don't Be Cruel by Bobby Brown.
Ooh,
that was on my list too also.
Good pick.
Yeah, Don't Be Cruel. That's one of those you just press play and just let it ride.
Yeah.
Like literally, even from like the opening, like ooh, just all that, and then just like you just hit hard. Don't Be Cruel, My Prerogative, Roni, Rock With You, Every Little Step. It's just like, and in the back half of it, you know, you got songs like Let's Take It Slow, All Day, All Night. I'll Be Good to You, which is a jam. Like it's just there's no fat on it, and you know, 5 singles, 5 top 10 hits. It's just it's a masterpiece. It's a absolute masterpiece of a record.
Yeah, it defines that era too. Also, especially, I mean, Bobby Brown was you know, after Michael and those guys. You know, looking at the next tier guys. I mean, he that album was. I remember back in '88, I was 8 years old. That album was on radio. I was tearing up radio. Roni and all those songs in there. Don't Be Cruel. Yeah, tearing up radio at the time. So yeah. All right, Chris, your second pick.
Oh man, I gotta go with the obvious one since it's still there. I gotta go with Purple Rain, man. Gotta get it. Gotta get it. Prince and the Revolution. I mean, there's nothing I can say about Purple Rain that nobody else hasn't said already. But it's one of the greats. So
it really is. It really is. Again, 84. I mean, like I said, they say like 84 was one of the greatest years in music history. Lots of great. I mean, 84. There was some heavy hitters, man.
There were.
Besides Michael, you got Lionel Richie was putting some out. Madonna debuted. I mean, you had everyone coming out. I mean, it was a great. I mean, I wish I was a little older. I was 4 years old that year, but I wish I was a little older to really appreciate it. Oh man, those clubs have been with the best, I'm sure, back then.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
My second pick, I'm gonna go Homer here. Of course, it's my favorite band of all time. It's my favorite album of my favorite band of all time, Metallica and Justice for All, which you see on the right hand screen right there.
Whoa!
Yes. What?
You picked Injustice for All over Master of Puppets?
I was expecting Master of Puppets personally.
Dude,
I was expecting, but he skipped it.
I'm a little shocked. You know, like one of my 5 favorite Metallica songs is on Injustice for All, which
Sanitarium?
is no. Sanitarium's on Master of Harvester of Sorrow is on Injustice for All. That's one of my top 5 favorites. Sanitarium, which is also
really?
one of my top 5. Yeah. But I just feel Sanitarium's like my number 1, like my number 2 favorite.
Oh, Sanitarium's amazing
song.
Sanitarium live. Listen to Sanitarium live on the live Ship Binge and Purge album from '93 from Mexico City. That version of it, oh my God, it's amazing.
So tell me why you picked Injustice for All instead of Master of Puppets.
It's my favorite album. of theirs.
Oh, okay.
It's not their best one. It's not the magnum opus.
Oh, okay,
the magnum opus is Master Puppets. Man is
Gotcha.
right on that. My favorite album is Just For All. My favorite Metallica song of all time is on that album too. Is Blackened.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm in Homer on that one. Otherwise, better album by far, Master Puppets. I mean, close.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
That's my third favorite album of theirs, actually, behind Load and Justice. So
Load is underrated record.
Yeah. It's aged better now. As years gone on, it's aged a lot better. You know, back in '96, when I first came out, I was like, what the hell? Short haircuts and now hard rock alternative? No, what are we doing here? But you know. Anyway, let's see. Matt, your third pick now, third round.
Okay, third round. All right. I want to give it up to the ladies here. I'm gonna pick 1986's "Rapture" by Anita Baker.
Ooh, that's on my list too.
That's a tough choice right there. That's good.
It's a great record too.
It's good.
That's I call that the adult contemporary thriller. Because it's just 8 songs of no fat. It's just almost every song on it is an Anita Baker classic of those 8 songs. You got the title track "Caught Up in the Rapture," which is my all-time favorite Anita Baker song. You got "Sweet Love," which is one of her biggest hits. You got "Same Old Love," the one fast song that she does in her whole catalog. You got "No One in the World." It's just a great record, showing off a very singular, wonderful voice, and it just propelled her into the legend that we knew her to be later on. But yes, "Rapture" is just an immaculate record.
It's a great record. Absolutely. That was another album that my mom and dad play a lot growing up as a kid. So, all right, Chris, your go. Your third pick.
Man, I'm gonna surprise myself and kind of follow Matthew's lead here. I'm gonna go with one for the ladies as well. Sade, "Stronger Than Pride."
That was on my list. A lot of people think that's Sade's best record.
And I'm right there with him. I mean, I covered that album when I was still writing for Albumism years ago. And like I went into it not really knowing much about Sade. Like I was one of those people that thought it was just the woman. In fact, when it is the band. But
I only found that out like 2-3 years ago. Know that?
Oh, okay.
As music astute I am, I didn't know that until 2-3 years ago.
Yeah,
I tweet that every now and again. It's like, this is your yearly reminder that Sade is a band.
And I appreciate that because I used to be part of that crowd that did not know. So
I had no idea.
But no, man, every song on the album works for me, and it's rare that I could say that about a lot of albums. But even the album cover, like when she's looking out at the shoreline, like you feel like you're there with her, listening to songs like "Love Is Stronger Than Pride." My favorite being "Keep Looking," "Nothing Can Come Between Us." Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on
Paradise is on the album.
Paradise is on there. Give It Up is a great song to dance to. Like if you got that special someone and you're at a like a nice nightclub or something, like that's a great tune to throw on. But Sade, the band, to me, this is their best record, "Stronger Than Pride."
The band, not the woman.
The band, not the woman.
Again, I learned that literally in my 40s. That's pathetic, actually. Since you two jabronis stole all the MJ stuff I can get, I got to have something related to Michael here. So I'm going to go with my favorite Jackson's album, "Triumph."
Dang it, you took that off my list, bro.
That was on there too.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
That's another album that honestly, it's close to unskippable. To be honest with you,
close to unskippable.
Probably is unskippable. I think about it.
Let me guess. Wondering
who? Wondering who?
Is that the one you skipped?
Yeah, that's
no. I'm thinking about it. It's like no, I do. I think I played that entire album all the time.
Okay, well
that's unskippable. You're right.
Okay, all right. I was about to say, well, what are you tempted to skip? Like,
I was thinking about no. Wait a second. It's not Victory. It's Triumph. We're good on that one. Triumph is good.
I thought you were going to say "Wondering Who" because that's the one song on the record that really you don't hear Michael as much, but when you hear him, it immediately catches your attention.
There's actually go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think you were going to say the same thing. That
I think it was
a version of the song.
You can say it.
Michael sings the bridge, but they cut it out.
They cut it out. Yeah, they leaked that I think a couple of years ago actually.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
they never should have done that. But
yeah, it sounded great.
Listen, it's the era of vinyl. They had to probably cut it for time because if you notice, when you listen to the original version with the bridge, it's like a half step slower also. So they probably sped it up and then cut out the bridge because they had to fit it onto the vinyl.
That's a good catch.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, fourth pick.
Okay, fourth pick. All right, so we're going to. So I got some ladies here. So now I'm going to go to the Caucasoids, and I'm going to pick 1987's "Faith" by George Michael.
Dang it! Oh, you got that. List. You got me, man. Oh,
yes,
great
indeed.
pick.
Great pick. Man.
That is a phenomenal record for record.
Oh yeah,
phenomenal album.
It's another one of those just perfect records. I mean, like even now when I go back, I find new favorites. Like right now, my favorite is "One More Try." I just love the conviction in his voice in that song. You know, I've come to appreciate things like "Kissing a Fool." Even though I like the Jimmy Jam Terry Lewis remix of "Monkey" better than the album version of "Monkey."
Wow.
I just love that intro that they put on it. That better watch out, baby. Who's that? Don't look now. There's a monkey on your back. I just love how they put that in there. But no, I mean, it's just from top to bottom. Like he really showed himself to be I mean, you already knew he was a great songwriter with the stuff he did with Wham. But then he really stretched out. It's not my favorite George Michael record. My favorite is Older, which is from the 90s. But this is just like an immaculate pop record with a lot of inflections of soul in it. And so George Michael's "Faith," that's my next one.
Yeah, great pick. I'll probably say my favorite song on the record is "Hand to Mouth." Like that is such a phenomenal record. Like it
very underrated record.
Yeah, hooks you because like the intro fades in and then you're hooked until it's done. Like it's such a great record.
I remember living with my dad that one year. I was born in New York and lived in New York till I was like 9 years old. But it was 1 year that I lived in Miami for a year in '87. And that album got a lot of airplay too. Oh my God, you couldn't go anywhere with that album. So yeah. All right, Chris, your fourth pick.
Oh man. All right. There's a few directions I could go here. I am gonna go with like my movie buff side is kicking in. So I'll say the Blade Runner soundtrack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What year that came out? 89?
82.
That early?
Yeah. 82. So what drew me to that record was I had found out that record inspired Prince and how he did the 1999 album as far as the synthesizer work.
Interesting.
And I could be butchering the pronunciation here. I think it's pronounced Vangelis or Vangelis.
Vangelis.
It's Vangelis. Thank you. Yeah, Vangelis. So I know that he had a jazz and psychedelic rock background in the 60s, and then he did a lot of scores for documentaries that ever going into the 70s. And when he scored Chariots of Fire, that's what led him to getting Warner Brothers to hire him for the Blade Runner soundtrack.
Right.
And it like talk about a soundtrack that immerses you in the world immediately. That's one that you can put on, and like it even has snippets of dialogue from the movie, so you feel like you're watching it as you listen to it. But like it's so like it does a great job of blending electronic, new age, and ambient music. So like it's just a phenomenal soundtrack that you could just listen to on its own, and it's hard for me to pick favorites, honestly.
Right.
It's hard for me to pick one. Like the whole thing is a whole movement. It's a masterpiece.
All right, my fourth pick. I need a female. I want to diversify a little bit here, so I'm gonna go with someone I saw last week. I met in person for the first time ever.
Go for Jackson.
It. Rhythm Nation.
Oh, dang it! I was so close to picking it, but I was like, I'm gonna be a little different.
That was on my list. Oh, doggone it!
Although I'm a little pissed right now because I'm waiting for my picture to load on her. It's been 6 days now. I haven't got my picture yet. From the show.
Oh, you're waiting on it. Yeah.
So because we're not allowed to use our cameras. So her team has everything set up where you do the picture with her, and then you get a QR code, and 5-7 days they'll upload it. but it's not up.
Oh, they did. I saw her last year, and they did it differently. They took my phone. They took everyone's phone and they took the pictures with each of our phones.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's how they did it.
I wish I was that lucky.
yeah.
I wish I was that lucky. No,
At least you got the picture. But you got the picture, though. I mean, that's the important thing.
I got the touch her too. I touched her back.
Yes, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it, and I had to just fit in like, Janet, you and your brothers mean the world to me. Thank you so much.
I've seen and met Michael before, but it was a little more chaotic when I met Michael because it was like, Michael, I couldn't talk to him. I actually talked to Janet Jackson. I actually talked to her. Asked how Catherine is doing. She said she's doing very well. Thanks for asking. That kind of thing. Very sweet. Very sweet.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Round 5. Matt, kick it off.
That was you took something that was going to be my pick. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
hey, look, you stole. Well, technically, you didn't. Chris stole bad, actually. So.
Okay. All right. So number 5. I'm gonna get into my hip hop bag now.
Ooh, I like that.
So I'm gonna pick 1989's 3 Feet High and Rising by De La Soul.
There you go.
What is it? Name the album again?
3 Feet High and Rising, De La Soul, 1989. The debut of one of the best hip hop groups of all time. They constantly are not mentioned in the GOAT conversation in terms of hip hop groups because number one, they weren't on streaming for many years, and number two, because all they did was make music and that was in tour and that was it. You know, a lot of these other groups, you know, they have documentaries or they have other enterprises and things that they do to keep them in the public consciousness. But De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising, one of the greatest debuts in rap music history. I mean, of course, you have, you know, Me, Myself, and I. You've got Plug Tunin. You got Potholes in My Lungs, Say No Go. You know, Prince Paul production really ushered in how people use skits and sketches on their albums. Of course, you have Buddy on there. You know, it's just, you know, that whole Native Tongues movement, you know, it was kind of set off by the Jungle Brothers before that, but it was really codified by 3 Feet High and Rising. So I got to pick them.
Man. Oh man, that hurts because that actually was going to be like not my very next pick, but my next pick after that if nobody said it. But no, everything you said is spot on. Like that is a phenomenal record. And even the album cover immediately grabs your attention, like just the brightness of it. Like you just know like you're in for a good time with that record.
I was at the event at Webster Hall last year when their stuff went to. I actually had to be the one when I was writing for the Griot. I had to be the one that broke the news that Trugoy had passed away.
Oh, man.
And so it was 2 weeks before the event, and it was just so bittersweet. But everything was decked out with like Daisy attire. It was immaculately decorated, and it was all the aesthetic of the 3 Feet High and Rising album cover.
Man. Yeah. I'm glad that he at least got to see, you know, like you know, to kind of dovetail off what you said, I'm glad we got to show him his flowers before he left, you know?
Yeah, me too.
So no, that's good. That's good. As far as my next pick, EJ, since you took my favorite Janet record, I got to go with Control, man. Got to get that. Got to get that record.
Dude, that album is also probably an unskippable album too. Very close to it.
Yeah. There's no bad song on that album for me. When I Think of You is probably my favorite song on the record. And, you know, just recently saw Janet and Charlotte, and she performed. I mean, it was pretty much a greatest hits tour, but she performed all the songs that I expected to hear from Control, and she still got it, man. She got it.
Look, the girl is 57 years old, and she still killed it.
Yeah,
she is putting these young girls to shame.
Yes.
There's no way that a 58-year-old woman should be out dancing and outperforming anybody that's half her age. There's just no reason. I mean, yeah, she's a Jackson. She's got a pedigree that's beyond everybody else's, but like they gotta step their game up.
Yeah, and my girl and I, like when we saw Janet and Charlotte, we were thinking like she's out dancing her male dancers, you know, like she's really putting them to shame.
She was,
and as hot as it was, like she was still like thugging her way through it. You know, like you said, at age 58, she is outworking most of the people that are out here today. So hats off to Miss Jackson, man.
Yeah. All right, I gotta go hip hop also too with this one. I'm torn between two albums though. You know what? I'm gonna go with another bad album, but with LL Cool J bad.
Ooh,
Bigger and
okay.
Deffer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bigger and Deffer.
Yep.
that was on my
Good
list.
album.
Yep, that's another album that I grew up with. I think my cousin had the vinyl back then. And that was part of the start of my hip hop journey was with LL Cool J and the Fat Boys and all those guys back in the mid '80s. That was the start for me.
Me
So,
too. That
LL Cool
was
J.
probably the very first rap video I ever saw. Was the video to "I'm Bad."
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's dope.
great record. All right, we can probably go longer than like 10 rounds. You want to go longer? We can go around.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go 15 rounds then. Let's go 15 rounds then, at least. Okay,
All
cool.
right, cool.
All right, round 6. Kick it off, Matt.
Okay. Here's another one I was torn between by one artist, but I'm gonna pick my favorite one of the two that came out in the 80s, and that is 1989's Back on the Block, Quincy Jones.
Dadgummit. Oh man, you took my. I literally was gonna pick that right after you, bro.
Yeah.
Dadgum. Great pick.
Yeah, man. I
Excellent
mean,
flick.
I love the record. I grew up on the album. I mean, I love the dude also, but Back on the Block, man, it's just like the amalgamation of hip hop and jazz on the record.
Yeah.
And then just the material on it. I mean, Quincy was always great at like finding and latching on to sort of female vocalists and having them be the star. The star of the dude was Patty Austin. The star of sounds and stuff like that was, Gwen Guthrie and Shaka Khan. And then for this one, Saida Garrett is the star.
Man.
Not just singing on songs like, Don't Go For That and songs like One Man Woman, but co-writing on The Secret Garden, writing the lyrics to Tomorrow, singing on and co-writing on We Be Doing It, which is an excellent funky track. I remember the first time my dad played the cassette and We Be Doing It came on, and I just laughed because it sounds so silly, but it was also so infectious. Yeah. Love it.
I heard that had Michael not been on tour, promoting Bad, that he was actually he was intended to be on We Be Doing It with everybody on that record. And I was like, man, that would have been dope.
So not only that, the original the lineup that Quincy had in his head for The Secret Garden was Michael, Lionel, and Stevie Wonder.
Oh wow! Okay, I didn't know that.
The greatest 80s trilogy ever, man. Of male singers. Jeez, not named Prince.
Yeah. I mean, all of them were unfortunately unavailable.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Quincy's label was having beef with Michael a little bit because if you remember during that time, they were doing a documentary about that album and about Quincy's life called Listen Up.
Listen Up, yeah.
And Michael is in the documentary, but he don't see his face. He tells the interview to turn the lights off. It's because the record label told him that he couldn't appear in it because they couldn't show his likeness. So in order to do the loophole, he told him he told him to turn the lights off.
Yeah,
so petty.
But Secret Garden, man, another like Rod Temperton, man, Rod the God, one of the best songwriters of all time.
Absolutely. All right, Chris, what's your sixth pick of this draft?
Dang, man. Oh, that hurts my heart, man. How dare you?
That was on the list, right?
It was on the list. So I gotta go with one that I haven't heard anybody say yet. I'm gonna go with Guy's self-titled record. Guy.
Yeah.
Gotta go with it.
That was on my list too.
Yep. Man, and anybody who knows me knows that New Jack Swing is my favorite genre of music, period. So for Teddy Riley to do what he did, from a production standpoint, is insane. And then even with Aaron Hall, like he has that ultra cool spirit of Uncle Charlie Wilson, but he gives it like that street flavor to which makes it unique. As far as my favorite song on the record, it's got to be "You Can Call Me Crazy." Like that is the toughest tune on that album. And I think I had heard that "Spend the Night" was one of Michael's favorite songs, and that's what led him to recruit Teddy Riley for the Dangerous album. Yeah.
Ironic that that's the one of the few songs that Teddy takes the lead on too.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that album is crazy. I absolutely love it. And with Groove Me, Teddy's Jam, I like.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
probably
it's
my
great.
that. And I think I Like and Peace of My Love are probably my
Piece of
two
My Love.
favorites.
Yep.
Um,
And or go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just like, despite the controversy about whether or not Aaron Hall
The
ever
lyric.
really, which we won't
Whether you
repeat
say
here.
yeah. Whether you're saying dumb bitch, like, and it sounds like it. I gotta admit it.
It
It
sure
does sound like
does. It sure does. And given what Aaron Hall would sing later on songs like "Don't Be Afraid," it totally wouldn't surprise me in the
it.
slightest.
Right. Yeah. It's on brand.
All right. For me, my sixth pick, I'm gonna go into the bag of my fourth favorite music artist of all time. I'm gonna take 1985's "No Jacket Required" by Phil Collins.
Ooh, good pick.
Nice one.
Studio's on there.
Mhm.
You got "Don't Lose My Number," "One More Night." I mean, "Take Me Home," probably my favorite song of his. Probably definitely my top 2 or 3. I mean, it's a phenomenal album. He has a lot of low key, really great albums in that decade too.
He does.
Mhm.
He really does. So, God, I mean,
Now, I'm sure my boy Jahan may never hear that. Well, he may hear this episode. I have to share with him. He's 1/4 of the Music Snobs podcast. He talked about Phil Collins once, and he said that Susudio was 1989 because of the the melody is very similar to 1999.
Very similar.
it is. No, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. When Jahan said that, man, I was rolling. I was like, man, he's a fool. But
and now I don't look at the same way ever again.
So I actually heard that song playing in Cole's a few days ago. I'm like, man, dadgummit, Jahan, I can't hear the song the same way, and he don't even know. So I have to mention that to him. But no, great album though, nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great album. Yeah.
All right, round 7, Matt.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep it in that same realm. I'm going to pick 1986's "Invisible Touch" by Genesis.
All right.
Great pick.
That's another one. I mean, they're Genesis and Phil Collins. They very few artists really were on it like Phil Collins was. Like, he quietly was like one of the biggest stars of the 80s behind Michael Jackson and Prince and Madonna. But like, in terms of his output, Invisible Touch is just like a great combination of the pop sensibilities that Phil was bringing to Genesis from, just his own solo records and his own sensibilities as a songwriter, into the, more art rock that Tony and Mike were doing, that they were carrying from their 70s period. It's just chock full of just unstoppable hits. The title track, Tonight, 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 Into Deep, Land of Confusion.
Oh God!
And then my favorite.
That video is amazing. With Land of Confusion.
Oh,
the claymation.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Top 10 video for me all time.
And then one of my favorite Genesis songs of all time, which is "Throwing It All Away." It's just
yes, great song.
Yeah, that album is just hit after hit after hit. I gotta put it up there. So
I'll tell you, Phil Collins and Genesis for me, dude, is like a nice soft pillow. It's like, oh, so comforting. It makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Even my kids love Phil Collins and Genesis. I'll take them to school in the morning. I'm playing on Phil Collins, and they're in a happy mood. It's great. It's amazing. Oh, amazing. All right, Chris. Your 7th pick.
Yep. So speaking of things that put you in a good mood, I gotta go with the third part of my music holy trinity. I'm gonna pick a Stevie Wonder record, and I gotta pick "Hotter Than July."
This came out 83, right?
Oh.
Is it 83 it came out?
No, that's 80.
That came
was 80.
Right out on 80. Yeah, right at
September
80.
1980.
Yep.
Oh.
And man, my favorite song on the record is "Rocket Love," and when I heard this lyric, it leveled me when I heard it. He says, "A female Shakespeare of your time with looks to blow Picasso's mind. You were the best." I'm like, this dude, he's different. Like, and we already knew he was different like throughout the 70s, but I'm like, he still got it in the 80s. Like, people sleep on this record so much. And All I Do, Master Blaster, I Ain't Gonna Stand For It. Like, there's just so many great songs on this album. And of course, the iconic Happy Birthday and Lately. Like there's just so many great songs on this.
Which, by the way, that was dedicated to Martin Luther King.
Exactly. Yep. That's what I believe that's what led to us getting the holiday, right? In his honor.
He was campaigning with Coretta Scott King. As a matter of fact, Gil Scott Heron, he wrote his memoir, The Last Holiday, and a great majority of it was about Stevie Wonder, and because he toured with Stevie during that time, and he took a lot of time to give him his props because he felt like, and as time went on, people, sort of forgot how much of a reason he was of getting that holiday done. Yeah. But yes, I'm so angry for you taking that one. Like, Stevie is I can't believe I let it fall that far, because Stevie is the GOAT. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned with music, I mean, he's better than Bach and Chopin and all those guys, amazing, in my opinion. So yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't pick that one. And honestly, I thought you would have picked it sooner, because I remember you wrote an article on Stevie a few years ago about his golden run, and everything you said about his his golden period was spot on. So, but yeah, Hotter Than July always puts a smile on my face when I play that record.
All right, I'm assuming you guys don't have this album on your lists. Maybe I'm lying, but this is actually a top 10 all-time album for me. This might shock you guys.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 1986's Back in the High Life, Steve Winwood.
Oh, I don't have that.
Was that Matt?
Yeah, because Higher Love is on that one.
Yeah. Oh, that's my song. Chris, you might appreciate this. The first time I heard that song is weird. It was Saturday Night's Main Event from November '88, and they used to close out the WWF those shows with "Take Me Home" by Phil Collins. Close out with that, but that episode they closed it out with "Higher Love," and they were showing the footage of Hulk Hogan clotheslining Brother Love over the top rope.
I didn't know that,
and that's when I first heard that song. I was like, ever since then I was addicted.
Wow.
Yeah, you won't see it on a network because like it's copyright and stuff.
Copyright, yeah. However,
I do have the old original videotapes from Saturday Night Main Event from '88. Up here somewhere, so if you played it on a VHS, it plays in the background.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's when I first heard that song. So Hulk Hogan clothesline Brother Love in 1988. Oh my God, it's always a weird moment when you find these songs. Like,
no, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
So and then I think my volleyball teacher from '94 in middle school had that album in his car, and every time we would go as a team to do games, you play the album all the time, and I became obsessed with it. So, yeah. Okay. So there you go. All right. So Back on High Life. All right. Round number 8, Matthew.
Okay. We're going to head back to the ladies once again. I'm going to be picking 1986's True Blue by Madonna.
Oh, my girl.
Good pick.
My girl.
Now, this is my personal favorite Madonna album. It's I mean, man, where do I start? I mean, La Isla Bonita. You got the title track. You got Papa Don't Preach, which is the album opener. You got, I think, Live to Tell. No, is Live to Tell on that one, or is Live to Tell is on that one?
It is on that album, yes.
Yeah, Live to Tell is on that one. Open Your Heart's on that one. It's just a great record. Just a lot of hits. I love the production on that one. Because it gives her sound. Like a Virgin was just more of an extension of the Chic thing that Nile Rodgers was doing. Yeah. With David Bowie and everybody else, and later Duran Duran. But True Blue is really when she was starting to establish what her sound was. And so that's my pick.
Oh, I love that album too. Not my favorite album of hers, but I love it.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there a song on this album that was intended for Michael for the Bad album, but he turned it down?
I don't know. That's news to me.
I don't know that.
News to me.
But I will say that
I was Bonita, but I could be wrong.
I will say though that Nile Rodgers totally stole the bass line for "Can You Feel It" from Material Girl on "Like a Virgin."
Really? Oh my gosh, I can hear it in my head. Yeah, wow.
the bass line.
I never heard that.
No, he stole it to use on the Madonna album. He stole it from
go get. Think about the bass
it.
line for Material Girl. That's the bass line for Can You Feel
It? Oh my gosh, I never connected the dots until now, bro.
Thank you.
You just blew my mind.
You learn something new every day.
Dang.
That's amazing. No, was that verified?
No, I just it's my observation.
Oh, I can hear it. I can hear it.
But you can totally hear it though.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll question.
Sheesh.
Hell, like a virgin stole from Billie Jean. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, same.
And Billie Jean's taken from I Can't Go For That. It's just
right. Yeah. Allegedly,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, 8th pick.
All right. Man, there's still quite a few albums that I want to pick, but again, I'm gonna go with my heart. I'm gonna go back to Prince. I gotta go with the Batman album. Gotta pick it. And this is the part where I'm gonna wax poetically for other Batman fans that could be out there. This is the album and I know you are. For years, I've seen people slam this record and say like, "This is where he stopped being a genius." I'm like, no, not even close.
That's the thing.
Bro, I'm telling like ever since I forget which movie it was. Maybe it was Shaun of the Dead or something. But like, remember when they're going through the albums and they're trying to get rid of it, and they're like, "Oh, Batman," and then they chuck it. Like that was the rap that album has had for years. Like people were like, "Yeah, after Love Sexy, Prince fell off." I'm like, since when? Because if you go back and like, it has everything you want on a classic Prince record. And as far as like a nostalgic memory, my first moment of like realizing who Prince was. Again, movie buff. I just watched 89 Batman for the first time. I'm listening to the end credits, Danny Elfman's score, all the things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it transitions into Scandalous. And I stop. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then I realized at the end credits, it's Prince. I'm like, oh, there's other songs in here that I didn't even bother. Like, I didn't catch. Yeah. So that's what made me want to go back to Batman. I'm like, yo, like this album really has everything you want in a classic Prince record. And if you think it doesn't, then I don't know what to tell you. Like it's such a dope record. Great soundtrack.
It's my top 5 favorite Prince albums. Like, I think that actually is the cutoff. I think Graffiti Bridge is when
there you go.
Prince fell off or started to fall off.
Yeah, you started to see some chinks.
Yeah, but man, the Batman soundtrack is just it's so
I'm sorry.
Party Man is great. Even the B-sides, like I Love You and Me, those are great B-sides.
Yeah.
200
Balloons. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, the part where Jack Nicholson, Joker, singing "Trust" and the.
Oh yes, at the parade.
Trust. Oh, God,
I used because I loved Batman '89 so much.
It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite Batman movie of all time.
Yeah, and I used to
okay.
And me and my brother, we would walk home from school just saying, "I rock the party, I rock the house, I rock the whole world, north, east, and south."
That's so dope. And even a song like Lemon Crush, which is probably my least favorite song on the record, it still fits on the album, And when you consider other songs that he was working on at that time, like Dance with the Devil and things like that could have easily fit on the record. So,
I think after hearing that for the first time, I was like, "Oh, this totally could have worked for
yes,
that record."
Absolutely. So
also, when Prince passed away, like a few days later, some website released the remix of Bat Dance with Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane, yes.
And I was just like, "Oh my goodness, Warner Brothers dropped the ball."
Sure enough, did, man. Oh man, yeah. When I saw it, I was like, I didn't even know this thing existed, and I mean, all three of us have been in the Prince fan community for quite some time, and I'm sure like none of us knew that even existed until it dropped that day.
Yeah. So I'm my 8th pick. I'm gonna stay with the vibe of what Matt was at on this round. I'm gonna stay with Madonna, Like a Prayer.
There you go.
Probably her best commercially, her best record, most likely. I think commercially.
I think it's this or Like a Virgin.
Or Like a Virgin, yeah.
Right.
It's up there. Up there.
I mean, you got Like a Prayer, Express Yourself, Cherish. 05. I mean, great album. I mean, Out Music had that number 77 on the list, or it was 73. Was it 77? Hold on, check the number now. It's not here. Whatever. It was ranked. The only album they ranked of hers in the top 100 was this one.
Yeah.
Really? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We discussed it on the podcast, Chris. We discussed it in the podcast actually.
Yeah. It came back to me as soon as you said where it was on the list.
Now,
yeah.
It's not my favorite Madonna album. My favorite Madonna album is Ray of Light, actually. But
Ray of Light.
yeah, love
Really?
love Ray of Light. Love Ray of Light. That was a ballsy record to do that. Ballsy
It was.
record.
Yeah.
Yeah. She went to a little spiritual awakening thing.
I love the title track of Like a Prayer. That's one of my favorite Madonna albums. Once it gets to the bridge where the guitar comes in, it's just, it's so great. Love it.
It's a phenomenal song. The video is amazing. It's very powerful video too.
Oh yeah! Shout out to Leon for playing Black.
Oh, Leon, right? Yes, Leon in the video with her, right? No, and I get this debate about who's the bigger impact like female artist of all time. For example, like her or Janet Jackson. Like I'm a bigger Janet fan, but you can't deny the impact that Madonna made. Doing things that were so taboo. Like you can argue Madonna crawled so Janet could run, because the things Janet was doing in the 90s, the sexualization stuff, Madonna got shit from that early on.
Big time.
When Janet did it was no more acceptable. Madonna had to crawl so Janet could run. So that's why I'm a bigger Janet fan, but I always acknowledge Madonna had a bigger impact because of that. And to be fair, look at record sales. Madonna has outsold her a lot. Actually, I was stunned how much Madonna sold. Madonna's a top 10 all-time seller. Artist.
Yeah, she is.
It's surprising sometimes you think about it. It's like, wow, Madonna really sold that much records? Yeah, she has a lot of good albums, man. She has a lot of great albums, actually. Yeah. So her impact is on par, man. It really is. All right. Round 9. Matt.
Okay. Round 9. Okay. I'm going to pick another favorite. We played this all the time. It was Don't Be Cruel. We had one car. We had to pick up my dad from work, and we'd play one tape on the way there and then one tape on the way back. Don't Be Cruel is what we played there. What we played back was this, which was 1989's Tender Lover by Babyface.
Ooh. Shout out to Kenneth, man.
Man, oh man, you talk about another perfect record. And also, he borrowed this aesthetic from the Isley Brothers and the Heat Is On album, which there's one side that's fast songs and one side that's slow songs. So on the fast side, you have songs like Ain't No Crime, My Kind of Girl. You got the title track, and then on the side B, you got songs like Sunshine and Whip Appeal, Soon As I Get Home From Work, Where Will You Go, which is a huge fan favorite. It's such a perfect record. It's just no skips, just him at an absolute just tear in terms of songwriting. That's straight from the heart, but man, man, that's just can't go wrong with that. Tender Lover.
Good record too. Is it Whip Appeal on the album too? Whip Appeal?
Yeah, Whip Appeal is the first song on side B.
Yeah, another radio banger.
Yeah.
All right, round 9. Ninth pick for you, Chris.
Great pick. So, Matthew, that's actually a good segue. Babyface is my girlfriend's, or one of, if not her, favorite producers, writers, artists, period. So because of that, I'm going to pick a soundtrack that she actually recommended to me because she knew I was going to do this episode. The Dirty Dancing soundtrack is a banger. Yeah. Wow. It's a banger. Yeah. I had to go back and look through it, and I was like, okay, like there's some great songs on here. Like, the Ronettes, Be My Baby, even Patrick Swayze, like She's Like the Wind, Hungry Eyes, In the Still of the Night. And then, of course, I've had the time of my life. Like if you go back and listen, Mickey and Sylvia's You're the One. Like there's so many great songs on that album when you go back and listen to it. I'm like, you know what?
It's sitting right next to you. If you look right to the right of Chris on the screen, right? Sitting right there. The soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know if I should save this one because I know you guys probably not gonna pick this. I don't know, man. So I'll go female again. Which album do I want? The first one or the second one? Jeez, hold on. Let me check it out real quick. Make sure I want the same album. Because I'm gonna go Whitney Houston here. I just don't want the self-titled. Well, they're both self-titled. Well, I mean,
yeah, they are both self-titled.
One is Whitney, one's Whitney Houston. Oh no.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm torn. I'm really torn. I love both these albums for different reasons. I'm gonna go with his second album, Whitney Houston. His second album.
I was about to say, I have a feeling you're going to go with 87
Whitney
over 85.
Yeah. Whitney is, to me, Whitney's the superior album to the first one. Even though sentimentally I like the first one because You Give Good Love was playing when my son was being born. So
okay.
Wow.
So the tiebreaker for me was So Emotional.
Oh yeah.
That's why. So Emotional.
Good song.
Yeah.
That's
probably,
one of my
songs.
favorites. Yeah, I mean that's up there. And of course you have like Didn't We Almost Have It All? This is another great pop song.
Where the Broken Hearts Go, you know?
Oh yeah.
Love Will Save the Day. Yeah.
I Want to Dance with Somebody, obviously.
Yeah, she opened the Grammys for that song in '88. I still have it somewhere. The '88 Grammys, the entire show on VHS. My mom recorded it when it came on, and I had the entire show on VHS. And she opened the show with that song.
Isn't she wearing like a canary yellow top or something?
I believe. I want to say yes, but don't quote me on that. I want to say yes. But
okay.
Yeah, that was a good show. That's a really good show, though, in general.
It is.
All right, so
it's great.
All right, so that's Whitney for number 9 for me. All right, we're in the 10th round now. As I said, we're going to go longer, 15 rounds, because there's too much good albums to leave off the ballot.
Yeah.
So, Matt, 10th round, kick it off.
Okay, 10th round. All right, you guys all have mentioned Prince, so I'm going to mention Prince. And I'm actually going to say Parade, 1986.
Okay, all right. Sheesh. I love Parade, but I'm so glad you didn't pick the one that I was about to pick.
Yeah. I was debating it. I mean, even though I love the one you're probably about to pick a little bit more, but Parade is so unique. I mean, people don't realize how much of a flex that record is in terms of his compositional style and his arranging. You know, when you think about songs like Christopher Tracy's Parade and songs like New Position and I Wonder You, Boys and Girls and Boys, even like the B-sides like Love or Money and Alexa to Paris, it's just, he really, really stretched himself out, and it just came out so immaculately. I mean, obviously Kiss is the big hit on that one, which kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, but it's still a great record. Another Love, a Hole in Your Head is another great funky song. And of course, one of my all-time favorite Prince ballads, which is Sometimes It Snows in April. It's just a great, phenomenal record that shows Prince getting into another gear in terms of his songwriting and composition acumen.
And see, this is why I hate the MJ Prince comparisons for this reason. They're literally two completely different artists. The way they did the music, the way they branded themselves. Like Prince was a musician. He wasn't like someone that was a marketable. Well, he's marketable. What I'm saying is like Michael, especially in the 80s, there was a certain brand he had to uphold to. You know, he only released 2 albums in that decade for a reason, because he wanted to space it out, and you know, every album had an era. Yeah. Prince didn't give a shit about that. Prince is, I'm putting on music when I want to. So if I'm putting an album every year of that decade, I'm doing that. Two completely different. The way they embraced music as a whole was completely different. Yeah, that's why I hate the comparisons. Yeah, Michael Jackson was more of he embraced the kind of hip hop aesthetic without knowing there was hip hop. Right. You know, just the way that he would write songs and the way that he would, with the beatboxing and everything, and this his attention to rhythm. It's really more of a hip hop style of composition, rather as Prince, who had an aversion to hip hop for many years. So that's not only that, but not just in the music, but also just the way they released albums, the way they marketed themselves, like commercially speaking. Like Prince was literally, if I'm going to release an EP if I want to, I'll do that. Michael literally branded himself differently commercially. Yeah. And I mean, you have a guy that released like 8 albums in a decade, and he did 2. Yeah. Come on. Well, 4 if you count Triumph and Victory. I don't count those. Yeah. I don't count those because Victory he barely sang on half the record. So, no, he didn't. But Triumph, I always felt like Triumph was like the Jacksons trying to outdo Off the Wall. So that kind of was more of a Michael Jackson record than like Destiny was. It is more of a Jackson record. Oh yeah, the Jackson, and it's probably why I like Triumph so much, because it's really a Michael Jackson fronted album, whereas the Destiny album felt like it was definitely Michael in the front, but you felt like it was an ensemble, if you will.
That's why I like Destiny better though. So.
Oh, really? Because it's the last.
Really? Wow.
Oh, I know why. Because it's the last vestige of the Jacksons. That's why. Really.
Because they really established what their sound was. But
right.
then
That's
when
true.
Off the Wall happened, it was just kind of like they were trying to keep up with that instead of
catch up.
To what enhance what they were already doing.
Right. All right, Chris.
Yeah.
Your 10th pick.
Yeah, but before I share my pick, I want to show Parade some flowers, because I was torn between that and the pick that I'm gonna say here in a moment. But Life Could Be So Nice, love that record. It's probably my favorite song on there. Venus de Milo, criminally underrated, especially when it comes to Prince being a pianist. And then I remember seeing on PrinceVault.com that Prince recorded Sometimes It Snows in April on April 21st, 1985. And then when he passed on April 21st, 2016, it had been 31 years in between on the day of. So like that, when I saw that, like that crushed me. I was like, dang, like that's crazy, like, just the timing of it. But
that's like with Michael Jackson, like the day that he got burned by the Pepsi commercial is literally the exact midpoint of his life. Because it's exactly
I saw that
exact amount of days.
I saw
between
that. Like,
each, it's shocking.
It is scary. Yeah,
it is pretty scary stuff.
Yeah. Parade's great. I am gonna pick Prince here, and I'm so torn because there's two other albums that I would say are better than the one I'm gonna pick, but I'm gonna pick this one. Love Sexy is the album that he was born to make. I'm going to steal the slogan from Emancipation and say it. This is the case for Love Sexy. If you understand what he went through, leading up to the making of the Black Album and then shelving it and then deciding to release it with Love Sexy, it's basically a path of it was his path of turning brokenness into beauty. Him meeting Ingrid Chavez at the club and then him having, this spiritual, awakening. It just that album is just happy to be alive. You're hooked from start to finish. And, songs like Anesthesia to me is right up there with Purple Rain or Sometimes It Snows in April. My favorite on there is I Wish You Heaven. Even though it's so short, it's so powerful. Love that song. And I know a lot of folks love the 12-inch version. I actually prefer the album version, which people think I'm crazy about. But yeah, just a great album. Like that to me is the album that he was born to make.
All right.
Yep. I wasn't expecting that one.
Okay. What? I started to say what would you think I was going to pick, but EJ may pick it, so I don't want to steal it.
No, I may tap into either my metal. I'm gonna go rock definitely here. Trying to go to my metal or go slightly classic. You know what? I'm gonna go my favorite band of all time after Metallica is Queen, and my boy Matt here wearing the shirt, of course, Freddie Mercury shirt here on air right now. I'm gonna go with The Game, 1980. The Game.
That was on my list too. Doggone it.
Nice.
Obviously, Crazy Little Thing Called Love's on the album. I think Dragon Attack's on that album too. Also, not mistaken.
Yeah,
Dragon Attack's on
Dragon
that album.
Attack's on that.
It's probably their 1980. You could argue that Queen for that 1 year, maybe 2 years, was the biggest band on the planet at that time. 1980,
without question.
At that point, Queen was the biggest band on the planet. It was short lived. But it was like a year or two they owned the entire planet. So yeah. And to me that was, it's funny because Queen's career is so weird because the way they did music is why I respect them so much though, is that, every time they win zig, they win zag. Because right after that album they put out Hot Space, and that album was totally off its rocker. They go for a disco sound somewhat, and it's panned by critics, of course. But in hindsight, it's a great record. It's looked at as a better album overall with hindsight. But
and then Flash Gordon in between them.
In between that, right? True. In 1980 was also. So but the game might be commercially the best record they did. No one Best Us also.
the game is their biggest selling album,
Yes.
and Another One Bites the Dust is by far their biggest selling single.
Yes, which
Yeah.
is rumored that Michael was encouraging to release as a single.
Yeah.
Roger Taylor confirmed that
Yeah.
Michael, there was a fan of Queen and he really liked Freddie, and he was backstage at they had a long stretch at the Forum,
yeah.
and he told him backstage, you got to put that song out, and it almost didn't even make the album.
The album, yeah, and they were resistant about it too.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody is the biggest song," and maybe it is, but the biggest selling single is "No One Bites the Dust."
Yeah.
So Michael had a hand in that, I guess. So there you go. You know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Now round 11, Matt.
Okay.
Five more slots to fill in here per person.
Okay. I'm gonna pick a dark horse album. I'm gonna pick 1985's "Song from the Big Chair" by Tears for Fears.
Ooh, good album.
I think I had it on my list. Though.
Good album.
Yes, it was on my list.
Yes, indeed. So
it was on my list as well. Dang.
I mean, it's their biggest selling album of that group. I mean, their most famous songs on that album. You have "Shout," you have "Head Over Heels," which is my favorite Tears for Fears song, and then of course, "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." I mean, that's been covered a million times. A lot of people say that Michael might have lifted the drums from that song,
shuffling rhythm.
For "The Way You Make Me Feel."
The Way You Make Me Feel.
But man, that just so many great memories also just from those songs as a kid. I was about 3 years old when that came out, but just seeing that, I remember there was a movie in 1986, Real Genius, with Val Kilmer, and that was the song that played in the end credits. It was just so "Songs from the Big Chair" by Tears for Fears.
It's a great record, though, I will say. It was on my list for record. So yeah. All right, Chris, you go.
Yeah. So speaking of dark horses, Matthew, I feel like I'm taking a lot of cues from you. I'm gonna go with "Introducing the Hard Line of Corns" to Terrence Trent D'Arby.
Oh my God! Yes, that's
I'm when I looked at my list, I'm like, I'm surprised that it's still on here, but I'm gonna go with it. "Introducing the Hard Line of Corns," according to Terrence Trent D'Arby.
Or Sananda.
I want to say. Go ahead.
No, I'll say or his real name, Sananda. Well, I know his real name, but Sananda Maitreya.
Right? Yeah.
Terrence D'Arby is much easier to pronounce.
That's.
I know.
It is. But no, like if you go back and listen to that record, I mean, it's to the point that EJ made earlier, like 83, 84, you're impressed with the amount of talent that was out at that time. If you ask me, for my money, I'm saying 1987 was by far the most stacked year when it comes to 80s music. Like when you look at everything that came out that year. And this is one of them. This is one of them that was right there. It slips under the radar oftentimes, but when you go back and listen to songs like "If You Let Me Stay," "Wishing Well," "Dance Little Sister," "Sign Your Name," I mean, like there's so many great songs on here, and to know like he did most of the writing on here. I know that I believe Sean Oliver did co-writing on "Wishing Well," and then he even covered "Who's Loving You." Shout out to Smokey Robinson. But yeah, that's a dark horse record that when you go back and listen to it, you're like, man, like it's easy to forget how great that record is.
I can't believe I let that slip.
Matthew's mad at me.
Believe I let that slip. Oh my gosh.
Wait, when you said dark horse, I was like, dang it, if he picks my album.
That's not a dark horse to me. That was such a big record. "Wishing Well" and "Sign Your Name" were constantly on MTV, constantly, and I have it on my list. I can't believe I didn't pick it. But yeah, one of my favorite songs on there is 7 More Days. That's another great just vocal performance. I love the dark brooding feeling of it. But and the video version of "Dance Little Sister" that he does live with his band, just awesome. awesome.
Yeah, fire.
I'm
Absolute
actually
fire.
I'm actually gonna pick something really, really strange. Not strange, but I'm not a big fan of this band personally. But this album is easily their best album, one of the biggest albums of all time. Like top
no.
5, top 5. I'm gonna
He's
go.
gonna pick it.
What? What's it gonna do?
No, go ahead, Ernest.
I don't think I know what it is because Back in Black.
I'm guessing Appetite for Destruction.
No, but that's on the list though. But Back in Black.
Oh, okay. Dang.
That was on my list too. Back in Black.
Yeah, Hell's Bells.
Great album.
Shoot the Thrill, great song.
Yeah.
Back in Black, the song itself. Rock and Roll All Night Long.
Yep.
Should be all night long. I mean, it's a great record. It's a great rock record. I mean, again, it's one of the 10 best albums of all time.
I think it's like number 2 or number 3 in America in terms of biggest selling albums behind Thriller.
And the Eagles, right?
Eagles' greatest hits 71.
But again, that should not count. It's a greatest hits album.
No,
that should not count
it either.
It's not an album.
Every single time a publication does that, I'm like, you're just racist. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's a racist thing to do. Come on, it's a
not
compilation.
Yeah,
that's like saying,
and it's happened so many
times.
No, go ahead.
Ridiculous.
No, I was gonna say that's like saying, the greatest album of all time is Bob Marley's Legend. Like, stop.
It's greatest hits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't count.
Yeah, and it was a couple of years ago. Rolling Stone put something out of like the Eagles, beat Michael Jackson. I'm like, wait, what? And they were really referring to American sales, but then like when you realize like worldwide sales, like nothing's touching Thriller. So they clearly did that for clickbait.
We've long known for decades that
so I was
when it comes to Michael, we know along for years that with Michael they play different rules. There's no rules for Michael Jackson, somebody else. So we want to go there, which is why it's amazing that he still sells much as he does because of despite all the pushback.
Thriller sells like 1 million units a year.
42 years later.
So in the streaming area, he's still killing it. But Rolling Stone, I don't even get me started on.
Oh, those bastards will be stolen that magazine.
Don't even get me started, man.
No,
because I still need a job, and I just might. If they give me an interview, I just might take it. So I gotta be quiet.
I'm surprised it's still in business. To be honest, that's just me. There. Anyway, round 12. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, all right. So let me not mess around. I'm taking 1981's "Street Songs" by Rick James.
Ooh,
dang! I didn't even have that on my list. Shame on me.
Yeah. So this to me,
great.
I remember. I read an article in Wax Poetics that said that Street Songs is Off the Wall's evil twin.
That's funny.
It's hilarious.
Never thought to,
but
never would have thought that.
But I'll tell you this. There was so much riding on this moment. It was like the album before this, Garden of Love, which is an excellent record. Was panned by critics and it didn't sell well. And Rick thought that him and his band were finished. So they made Street Songs completely out of desperation. And they went back to Buffalo, went back to the clubs, got some inspiration. And then boom, they got 8 killer songs. Give It to Me, Baby. Make Love to Me. Fire and Desire. Ghetto Life. Super Freak. Mr. Policeman. It's just there's no fat on this record. It's just his punk funk music of the late 70s had reached a great place where it just connects. All these great artists have these moments.
That was 81, right? 81?
1981.
Yeah.
Where you have the commercial viability and still the rawness of your creativity, they meet in the middle. That's what happened with Street Songs. It's a great, perfect record. Rick James singing great, writing great songs, producing great music, very eclectic because most of Policeman's got like the reggae sort of vibe to it. Fire and Desire's got that big torch song, and then just the introspective looks of ghetto life and how you grew up. Also in Past the J. Mm-hmm. It's just it's a great record. So
I know a couple of the big songs there, but I got to check out the record in general.
Oh, it's a great record. You'll love it when you listen to it. All
right, Chris. 12th pick for you.
All right. I'm ashamed that I've allowed it to drop this far on the list, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. It takes a nations of millions to hold us back. Public Enemy.
That was on the list too, for the record.
Yeah,
that was on my list too.
Yep. So my entry point with this record wasn't the original Bring the Noise. It was the remix I heard on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. And it was the remix with Anthrax. Yep. And that's what encouraged me to go back to the original record and listen to it from start to finish. And I'm like, man, like there are a lot of great songs on here. Of course, Bring the Noise, Don't Believe the Hype, Night of the Living Bassheads, Rebel Without a Pause. I mean, like there's just so many classics on this record. And when you have, a commanding voice like Chuck D, and you got, somebody that's super hype, like, Flavor Flav, and who's underrated, by the way, like to me, like a lot of people just see him as like a hype man, Flavor of Love and all the things, but like he truly is brilliant. Like he plays drums, writes his own music, things like that. So I can appreciate like the social consciousness of what they brought to the table. It was like Malcolm X meets hip hop, and it's like, here I am in your face. What are you going to do about it? So great album, without a doubt, classic hip hop record.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Night Living Bassheads is probably my favorite Public Enemy song.
I would argue that maybe the in terms of like albums in that genre, probably the best album of that decade. I would argue.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument to be made.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, but between that and 3 Feet High and Rising De La Soul, like those to me are the top 2 hip hop records from the 80s.
Right.
If you ask me. Yeah.
All right, my go, round 12. I'm gonna go with another band that was hot in '84. I'm gonna go 1984. The album 1984 also Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Hot for Teacher, Jump, Panama. Definitely the peak of their powers with David Lee Roth. Was at the time the front man for another year, I think.
This is their last album with him.
Yeah, because then Sammy Hagar took over after that. Great album, great, phenomenal radio album too. Also, especially again, an era where music, every genre was popping at that point, and Van Halen was one of those marquee bands that were on radio a lot. So yeah, 1984, Van Halen.
Yeah, I personally prefer the Sammy Hagar era of Van Halen, but yeah, what a way for the David Lee Roth era to reach a climax.
So the thing about the Hagar and Lee Roth thing is that it comes down to preference. The thing that makes Van Halen so great is that they sound like two completely different bands with each guy. But they're all great. Like they sound like a party rock and roll party band with David Lee Roth, and then with Sammy Hagar, they sound like a more straightforward, serious band. And they're both great in my opinion. I mean, it's about preference at this point, but they both sound great.
Yeah,
they're probably one of the only bands, if not the only band I know that can actually do what they did and pull it off to excellence.
Yeah, so I would agree.
No. All right, round 13. Three more slots to fill in here, guys.
Ooh.
Matt, go ahead.
Okay, 3 more slots. All right, I'm going to pick. I'm gonna pick 1983's "Synchronicity" by The Police.
Oh, that was next to me. Oh my, you bastard! That was next to me. I was going there next.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts.
I mean, I personally enjoy Zenyatta Mandata more than Synchronicity, just for me. But Synchronicity, man. I mean, you got Every Breath You Take, Synchronicity 1, Synchronicity 2, which is my favorite of the two. You got Wrapped Around Your Finger.
Oh,
you
my
got
God.
King of Pain, which is one of my favorite Police songs. You got Walking in Your Footsteps, Tea in the Sahara, and then one of the bonus tracks on there, which is one of my favorite Police songs, Murder by Numbers. It was a B-side. But man, I mean, like I said, another great, that's their last studio album, and it was a great way for them to go out and to stop, when people say, "Oh, they should have made more music," no, I think like why try to live up to what that was, for them to stop right there. I thought was, they probably didn't want to do it, but it was great. So I gotta say, Synchronicity. It's just another great time. I mean, like I said, that pocket of like 82 to 84 or 85, like that's when music was huge.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. All right, Chris, your 13th pick.
All right, man. Oh, Matthew, I'm so glad you brought up the Police, because I almost forgot that my favorite Police record came out in 81. I'm going to go with Ghost of the Machine, the Police. And I mean, there's quite a few songs I love on this record. My favorite probably Too Much Information. Like it just like it blows your head off as soon as you play it. But two songs on there that I got introduced to through movies as well. Spirits in the Material World. It was covered on Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Like it plays during the end credits, and that's what got me interested in Sting. And then Demolition Man came out in the 90s. Stallone, Wesley Snipes, that plays at the, during the end credits as well, with Rosie Gaines singing background on the remix there. So Ghost in the Machine. That's probably my favorite Police record, and I cannot believe I totally skipped that. So, Matthew, thank you for reminding me of how great the Police are.
Oh, no problem. Ghost in the Machine is probably my least favorite of their albums. But man, if Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic is not an exquisite
it's perfection
recording. Yeah.
Oh my God, for real. I might listen to that tonight now as you said that. All right. 13th pick for me. I might, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with. Make sure it's the right year before I get it. Before I say this, hold on 1 second. Yep, I'm gonna go with 1988's debut album, Tracy Chapman's.
Oh, dang, good pick.
My father. I told you the 1 year I lived with my dad, 87 into 88. Overplayed that album to the hilt back then. Great songs like Talk About a Revolution, Fast Car, obviously everybody knows that song. Cross the Lines, great record. It's a great record in general. Great debut. Great album. I mean I loved it. I still do. So it's aged well, actually, to be honest with you. A little bit of folk meets soul meets blues meets it's great. It's just great music. So figured it out of the way. So all right, 14. 2 more picks left for each of us, guys. Matt, it's you.
All right. This album came out the same day as one of the albums I picked, which was Don't Be Cruel by Bobby Brown. So I'm going to pick 1988's Heartbreak by New Edition.
New Edition, dadgummit.
Any Heartbreak, yeah.
Yes. And it's funny. The album is called Heartbreak, but I call it Any Heartbreak just because of the song Any Heartbreak.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is another. I mean, this was the big turning point for the New Edition.
Yep.
They got with Jam and Lewis, and this like codified their sound. If It Isn't Love, Boys to Men, which is a song that
she got it going on. Get going on.
Yeah, Any Heartbreak.
Get.
I love that. I love Any Heartbreak. Crucial. You're Not My Kind of Girl. Can You Stand the Rain? Boys to Men, which the extended remix of Boys to Men that makes me cry every time I hear it. It's just Johnny Gill, one of his finest vocal performances of all time, even though he didn't like the song.
Right.
But yeah, because that song is the New Edition story. It really, really is. It's just a great record. Another just classic of the New Jack Swing era, but without being technically New Jack Swing.
Yeah.
Jam and Lewis they had this more sophistication and song structure to them. And man, it's just a great balanced record. Love it.
First album without Bobby. First album with Johnny, right?
That's right.
It's their first album with Johnny. But they did an album. They did an album before this called Under the Blue Moon, which is like a covers album.
Okay. Bobby was on the album either?
No, he wasn't on the album. That was the only album with the 4 of them.
Okay.
In Karate Kid Part 2, there's a scene where they're playing Earth Angel in the background.
Yes.
Daniel and Yuki are on their date. That's New Edition's cover of Earth Angel. That's on Blue Moon. Yeah.
By the way, you guys watch Cobra Kai? You guys watch Cobra Kai by any chance?
No, I don't like seeing bullies getting redeemed.
Like who? Johnny?
Johnny and Chosen particularly.
If you watch the show though, you'll.
I've seen enough of the show to know that they get redeemed. I don't like it. They deserve to live terrible.
Well, John went through hell though. He did go through hell, and he turned it around.
It wasn't enough. He
deserved. Oh come on, man! Really?
Alone and penniless, and Chosen should have been in prison for the stuff he did. And
but Chosen turned around, and Chosen ended up helping Daniel. I mean,
I know, but I can't in good conscience support that. I just cannot.
I get it. All right, Chris, what's your 14th pick in the draft?
Oh man, I'm so torn because there's still so many great records I want to pick.
Yep.
I mean, like I could have easily picked a whole bunch of Prince ones and could have called it a day, but oh gosh, I'm gonna go with 1999 Prince. I got to.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming at some point.
I know. I was doing my best to find everything else but Prince, but I'd be kicking myself if I didn't pick 1999. I mean that album, like I know everybody tends to focus on Purple Rain, but it was 1999 that really put him on the map. That 1-2 punch of 1999 and Little Red Corvette was crazy. DMSR. My favorite song on the record is Automatic. Like I never get tired. Like for a 9-minute song, I never grow tired of it. Like it's such a fantastic record. And then Something in the Water Does Not Compute. Hot take. Don't really care for International Lover like that. I would have taken it off and put Moonbeam Levels in its place, but that's
no. Take Free off and put Moonbeam Levels. Because I love International Lover. Take Free off. Put on Moonbeam Levels, and then boom, you got it right there.
See, I used to think that, but then once I started, I consider Free like a dry run for Purple Rain, like that anthemic rock, song that he was, gonna go for in the next record. I like Free, but it was between Free and International Lover. Like those are my 2 least favorite songs on the record. Still like them, but
I love International Lover. I think my least favorite is probably All the Critics Love You in New York. Was probably my least favorite. 1999, and my favorite is Lady Cab Driver.
Man,
I just love his drumming on Lady Cab Driver. Is crazy.
Yes, yeah,
it's so in pocket.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's such a phenomenal record. But yeah, I
gotta say though, this speaks to all of our collective eclectic nature. The fact that 1999 dropped this low in the draft, it just speaks to how varied our music tastes are.
Yeah. But the thing is, it could be easy for us to pick our favorite albums and we call it a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could have gone let's do all Metallica albums, all the MJ albums, all the Queen albums. It's stupid. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Let's be a little more diverse with it now. So,
Yeah. But to Matthew's point, I mean, for us to go this long without mentioning 1999 says a lot about not only just our taste, but just how the quality and quantity of music that came out during this decade. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, we're lacking nowadays. Like you got to dig hard to find a great album that you don't want to skip at least a couple songs on. But with these albums, I mean, they're all killer, no filler for the most part.
Wait! It's our 90s draft. Oh my god!
Oh man, yeah,
that's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough to just come down with 10, or we may need to do 20 rounds. I don't know.
You may start working on that now. Work on your list now because
no joke.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm torn here because I can go my favorite artist here. I can just screw it. Master Puppets.
I was gonna say like
again. It fell this far.
Right.
Yeah.
The only reason I didn't take it is because I know how much you enjoy that record. So I'm like, all right, I'm
Well, I enjoy
EJ
every Metallica record. That's not saying much. I enjoy 72 Seasons as much as I enjoy Master of Puppets. I mean,
I
like,
know.
it's like Michael for me. Like every album is amazing for me. There's no favorites really.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, but no, Puppets still sitting there like staring like, pick me, pick me, pick me. I'm like, okay, fine. Puppets, it is.
It's giving pick me.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Master Puppets, the Metallica, Man Opus. You know, people say that's arguably the greatest metal record of all time, arguably, in terms of the genre, would define the record. Like most guitar players, metal players ask you what albums influenced them. Master Puppets almost always on the list of albums that influenced them.
Yeah.
So yeah, just saying. Sanitarium, Battery, Thing That Should Not Be, Leper Messiah. Oh my God, that's an unskippable record. Also, too, for the record, that's an unskippable album. All 8 songs, amazing.
I gotta go back and listen to it.
Yeah, Damn and Jinx. By the way, it's right on the bottom right now. Right on the bottom next to you. The bottom.
Yeah, listen
on the
to
crosses.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all right. Okay. We reached the finale here. Maybe we'll do one more bonus album for shits and giggles at the end.
Okay.
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 All right. Matthew, your last pick at 15.
Okay, so my last pick at 15. This is a personal pick because there's a lot that still haven't been picked out really hard, but I'm gonna say 1982 Straight from the Heart by Patrice Rushen.
Straight from the Heart?
Yeah. So that's the album opener is one of her most famous songs, which is Forget Me Nots. And then of course on side 2, you have another one of her most famous songs, which is Remind Me. But then just you got great songs like Breakout, which is an awesome instrumental. You got Tired of Being Alone, which is another hit. You got All We Need. It's just one of those phenomenal, post disco records that's just immaculately produced. That's got great songwriting on it. Patrice is really known for being a pianist and composer, but just her voice was really, really nice on this record. And, she didn't try to do too much. It's just a great, great produced record, great songwriting, immaculate performances. And like I said, just iconic songs. And You Remind Me and Forget Me Nots.
All right. 15, Chris.
All right, bring it on home for the Jacksons. I'm gonna choose their live album that came out in '81.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, some of Michael's best singing ever captured on wax. Like,
of course,
his voice still has that wiggle and bounce to it that I love. I love how he sounds when it goes from "I'll Be There" into "Rock with You." Like, flawless. Like that's church to me.
Don't stop. Don't stop. I love it.
Yeah. Like even now, like the fact that you did that, I started to get goosebumps. Like that's how much I love that part of the record. And even like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Like it sounds phenomenal on that album. Like just some of his best singing, and the brothers sound great. And just think of all the songs that are on there. Like, I mean, a lot of it is Off the Wall, Destiny,
and Triumph.
Triumph, and yeah. So I mean, it's just it's a killer live album for sure.
I don't listen to the album enough, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Really?
I should. I did it years ago. I did years ago. I don't listen to much. I used to.
I ran it into the ground. I remember I was in 7th grade and I won 2nd place in my middle school Halloween. We had a 7th, 8th grade Halloween dance, and I took 2nd place in the costume contest. I was dressed up like Moses because I watched the 10 Commandments that summer, and I was success. So my mom sewed me a Moses costume, and I came in 2nd place. I'm still salty because the person that came in 1st place was from Venezuela, and she just wore her regular garb, and she won, and that wasn't fair, but it's okay. But I used the $10 gift certificate to buy the Jacksons live on cassette tape. And
there you
go. I ran that into the ground, man. That's to me, that's Michael at his peak in terms of live.
A lot of people say that. That era that tour was at his peak.
That's his best tour. and I'll die on that hill.
That's
and
the swag. The swag on that tour. You saw some of the footage. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Now,
Man, it's great.
So when you say peak, as far as live performing, are you talking about like the total package, or is there a certain piece of the performance?
Probably vocally.
I'm talking about the total package. I'm talking about his vocal performance. I'm talking about him being in sync with the choreography with his brothers. I'm talking about the band. This is the last time that Michael would tour with live horns.
That's right.
This, you know what I'm saying? And just the material that's on the album. You know, it's the last time he sings Ben live because in Victory he replaced it with Human Nature. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's the last time he sings Don't Stop Till You Get Enough live.
Yeah. That's
it's just like, and I always felt like Michael's always seemed more comfortable and at ease when he's on stage with his brothers than he was when he was touring as a solo act. I always believe that.
Man, that's a compelling argument, because I'll maintain my stance that the Bad tour, particularly the second leg of the tour where you get more Bad material on there, is probably his best.
I think the first leg is the best, because that's when he sounds.
The Jackson. We also did Jackson songs too on that record, because what happened? They rushed because that tour started pretty much right after the album came out, like a week or two after the album came out, and they weren't prepared as much. They pretty much copy and pasted the Victory tour minus a few songs on that first leg. Once the album started coming out and they were able to rehearse the newer songs for the second leg when it came to the United States, then you started seeing more songs like Man in the Mirror and, you know,
Smooth Criminal, Dirty Diana,
right, exactly.
Part of Me.
Right.
But no, like you give a compelling argument. I'll definitely give it to you, like vocally. I think, you know, that Triumph era live, like he clears it vocally. But as far as the total package, I would say Bad tour, particularly the second leg for me.
I like the Bad tour more than the Victory tour, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Victory tour at all. I already told you that before. It's on bottom of my list. Bottom of my list of tours.
You put that.
I don't know why. I just don't know why.
You put that below History?
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
We gotta have a conversation.
You know why though?
We gotta have a conversation.
But it's weird.
You might have to.
But it's weird because I'm not saying I love History either. But to me, like the songs he does, like the Thriller songs he does, having his brothers there, it didn't fit. Like he's singing Billie Jean and his brothers on the stage. It didn't make any sense to me.
But it makes sense that. But you're saying it makes more sense that they're singing Rock with You with his brothers, which is the same thing. He's singing Working Day and Night with his brothers.
That felt a little, but because Off the Wall was not an exit from the brothers.
Yeah, but Working Day and Night, that wasn't even a single. That wasn't even a single in the performed on stage.
I know. Yeah, but it was weird seeing Billie Jean and Beat It with his brothers. I don't know, because Thriller pushed him into the stratosphere where, you know, he must have done it. Look, it wasn't Jackson's tour, but really it wasn't. It was Michael Jackson.
No, it wasn't. I mean, there are 9 solo songs in a set list of 16 songs. So,
right. Like, come on.
So,
you know?
So EJ, like I know this is supposed to be an albums wrap, but I gotta address it. For you to say it's at the bottom of your list, the Victory tour, that to me sounds like you're putting the History tour above it.
I prefer History tour because at least on History tour, the optics, the stage show was amazing.
Okay,
the stage show of the History tour,
the spectacle.
But History is almost borderline unwatchable for me, also too, for the record.
Oh yeah, because there's just too much lip syncing on the History tour.
Yeah.
Which
I understand.
I mean, I get it. I mean, he didn't want to do that tour. I mean, Quiet as Kept. People don't realize this, but Michael said that he wanted the Triumph tour to be his last tour.
Yeah,
he actually did publicly say that I'm done touring after the Triumph tour.
Well, the kid was touring since he was like 9 years old, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was over it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All right, my 15th pick, my last pick, real quick.
All right.
Another band I'm not really a big fan of, but this album is production wise is 10 out of 10, and that is 1986's "Slippery When Wet," Bon Jovi.
Ooh,
that was on my list.
Great pick.
That's one of the ones on my list.
Yep. I know it was engineered by Bob Rock, but Bob Rock is also known for the guy that did the Black Album with Metallica, the Black Album, Load, Reload, Saint Anger. So that a lot of
that was for Saint Anger.
Huh?
That little spit that was for Saint Anger.
I have a love hate with that album because I have a love hate with Saint Anger. Saint Anger because the songs are great, production is shit. So
yeah, it's just
Lars's tin can drums. We can trust me. That's not trust me. We have arguments to that stuff. We have arguments over that. Trust me.
Bob Rock also produced probably Motley Crue's best sounding album.
Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah,
which is also on my list as well too. I'm not a Crew fan either, but yeah, that album's on my list.
So tell me why you picked Slippery When Wet, because I actually think that New Jersey is the superior album to
the big songs stand out the most. You know, Living on a Prayer. You know, One Dead Alive. What's the other one that on that album they did that I liked?
You Give Love a Bad Name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on there too.
So the big hits stand out more than anything else. So that's the tiebreaker for me.
Yeah. Never Say Goodbye is also on that one, which is a great song.
But again, I'm not a big Bon Jovi fan for the record. So, but that album is just production wise is 10 out of 10. And actually, that was set the stage for. They said that album and Dr. Feelgood is why James and Lars wanted to work with Metallica. Well, work with Bob Rock on the Metallica album. On the
Slippery When Wet was on my list.
Yeah. All right, let's get one honorable mention. Each of y'all.
Okay, one honorable mention. Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, two. Want to do two?
Okay, we'll do two honorable mentions.
Okay.
All right. So I'll give two honorable mentions. My first honorable mention will be 1986's "Raising Hell" by Run DMC.
Great pick.
You know, that's their biggest selling album. You know, it's the third album. It's the first like multi-platinum selling rap album. You know, of course you have Walk This Way, but you also have My Adidas. You have It's Tricky. You have Peter Piper. It's just a great rap record. It's just them at the absolute pinnacle. Tougher Than Leather could have, like, if Tougher Than Leather came out a year before, it probably could have carried them even further. But Raising Hell, I mean, that's just it's another personal pick. That's an album that got played a lot in my household. And I'll say my other honorable mention will be the 1987's self-titled Jody Watley album.
Oh, dang. Yeah, Jody Watley.
Yeah, because a lot of hits on that one. We mentioned Prince a lot today, so that's Andre Simone producing that record and co-writing. You got, you know, Looking for a New Love, which is big #1 hit. I mean, just a lot of yeah. Don't you want me like I want you? It's just a lot of great material on that one. So those are my two honorable mentions.
Okay. All right, Chris, give me your honorable mentions.
I'll tell you what, you go ahead of me because there's like several that I want to name drop. So if you don't mind, you can go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, wait, so okay. Want me to go first? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll mention a few here just because I just feel so bad just leaving a lot of these out. Dirty Mind, Prince, Disintegration, The Cure, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses.
Can't believe that didn't get picked.
I know. Like I was so close to picking it. Paul's Boutique, BC Boys, and then last but not least, Moving Pictures by Rush.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
So the ones on my list I did not pick, I'll tell you here and now. Whitney Houston's Whitney Houston. The Joshua Tree by U2. Face Value by Phil Collins. Seriously by Phil Collins. Forever Your Girl by Paula Abdul.
Paula, dang. Yeah.
Dr. Feel Good by Motley Crue. How about this one? Private Eyes, Hall & Oates.
Wow. No love for Hall & Oates, man.
And then for the metalheads, of course, Peace Sells Who's Buying by Megadeth. Who I'm going to see at the concert.
Yeah, man. Yo, there's some tough. Yeah, that's a tough one. I wanted to pick another one. I wanted to pick was The Big Throwdown by Levert, because that's the album. Casanova's on that record.
Forgot about that one too.
Sports, Huey Lewis in the News. That was.
Oh no, I forgot that one. Oh my god. I would have picked that if I forgot to put that one on the list.
Yeah, that was on it.
I'm a huge Huey Lewis fan.
Here's some interesting omissions that we didn't pick. We didn't. No one picked "Remain in Light" by Talking Heads.
Oh, dang it!
No one picked "Graceland" by Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Here's what's another one. Karen White's self-titled album. Miles Davis's Tutu. No one picked that one.
What terrible.
Amanda came out in '89. I almost picked that for Miles. Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, Diana Ross's Diana album. That's the album with.
That's right.
Down.
That's 80. That's 80.
That's 80. So that's Upside Down, and that's I'm Coming Out. No one picked Like a Virgin by Madonna. So that didn't.
Oh, EJ, I thought you did.
No, I had Like a Prayer.
Oh, you had Like a Prayer. That's what it was. Yeah.
And Make It Big by Wham. That also no one picked that one.
Oh my God! Wow, a lot of good ones. A lot
of good ones that got.
And that's after increasing the draft to 15 rounds. Jeez.
Exactly. Yeah.
An Innocent Man by Billy Joel. That had tons of hits on it.
That's tough.
Total 4 didn't get picked, which was the album of the year of 1982 at the Grammys. No That's Luther crazy. Vandross albums.
Yeah, I started to, but I was like, I didn't have as much of the connection to those records wasn't as deep as the other ones that I mentioned. So
well, Luther actually for me has connections to my mother. She loves Luther. She loved Luther. So that was a one that could have been something I could have clicked. Oh my God!
Yeah.
A lot fell through the cracks, man. But again, 80s were a great decade, man.
Yeah,
great decade. Make It Last Forever. Keith Sweat.
Yeah.
In Effect Mode. I'll Be Sure. In Effect Mode.
Sure.
Did I say Paid in Full by Airbnb and Rakim?
No.
Oh
wow.
That wasn't a list. That was
on my list.
That's got to be top 3. That's up there with It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back.
Absolutely.
And Three Feet High and Rising. That's got to be up there.
That was on my list too. I can't believe I missed that one.
I was so obsessed with diverse on my list that some fell through the cracks.
Yeah. And here are a couple other ones that I noticed. The first 2 Sade records, Diamond Life and Promise.
Yeah.
And then again, Prince just he took up so much space in the 80s. Yeah. Nobody said Controversy, the Black Album, or Around the World in a Day.
Controversy might be my favorite Prince album too.
Around the World might be mine actually. Around the World in a Day.
You're the first person I actually asked that on Twitter. I was like, does anybody consider Around the World in a Day their favorite Prince album?
Me, right? Yep.
Yeah,
that was me.
Doggone it.
If only 4 or 5 other albums that Prince released in the 80s didn't exist, I probably would have picked Around the World Today.
He released what, 30-something albums? How many albums he actually released? 30-something? 20?
It's got to be. I mean, let me see.
Officially, I think it's up in the 40s. He's up there with Rolling Stones.
Yeah, and Michael was only 10.
Yeah, Michael has 10. Prince has official releases just as Prince or as his symbol. He has 39.
39,
official studio albums, but that also doesn't count the Time records. It doesn't count the Time records. It doesn't count the Apollonia 6 record. It doesn't count the
Madhouse
records, the Jill Jones album, the 2 Sheila E records.
Crazy.
Again, 2 completely different artists.
Yeah,
can't be compared. It's that simple. Anyway, fellas, great job as always. You guys want to plug anything before we get out of here?
Go ahead, Matthew.
Matt, go first. Matt, want to go first?
Cool. So you guys can catch my work at news1.com. I got something I recently wrote about Frankie Beverly's retirement. I wrote and I'm writing something about the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain, the film, which is coming out this weekend. Check back. I did a one on Purple Rain, the album for News One last month. So, and I also have something coming up on the 100th birthday of James Baldwin. That's coming up in early August for News One.
Yeah.
And also just check my Substack where I'll be making my commentary, my commentary about the whole Kendrick Lamar, Drake beef. A lot of people use the Michael Jackson Prince argument with them since they were the ones that brought it up. But I'm going to make an argument about how the more accurate comparison was Prince versus Morris Day.
Actually, if you look at my YouTube page, actually, last week I did a podcast with my neighbors, and we discussed that beef. I actually spliced that clip of that discussion on my YouTube page. It's about 25 minutes. It's actually really, really good stuff. It got a lot of traction on in the comments too. So folks are big mad about some things we were saying. So just saying.
So catch me at news1.com. You can see my work there.
Awesome. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have any upcoming projects anytime soon, but medium.com/Chris Lacy 1990 ChrisLacy1990. I do plan on doing something for History 30 next year. So
really,
that's in the works.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is in the works. But as of right now, that if you want to find me on Twitter and have a conversation, I'm at Chris Lacy 0215.
All right, fellas, great job as always, man.
Yep. Thank you, man.
Oh, and follow me at Headphone Addict, all one word, on Twitter. It's not X, it's Twitter. Don't care. Anybody
Fuck
that
Elon.
Anybody that calls it X is the same people that call it This Place Hotel and not Heartbreak Hotel.
Yo.
That's it. So at Headphone Addict on Twitter, on Thread, on Instagram, and also headphoneaddict.substack.com for my other articles.
Excellent. Good job, guys, as always.
Thanks, EJ.
Thank you.